What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs? How y'all doing today? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, thanks for dropping in on my channel today, Country Fried ATV. I'm Country Fried, and today got another good video for y'all. I'm going to be doing Zerk fittings, greasing Zerk fittings on four-wheelers. So stay tuned, guys. All right. So I'm going to do today's video on greasing your Zerk fittings. I had a user ask me what are Zerk fittings. So I thought that would be a good idea to do a video on greasing Zerk fittings. So we're going to go ahead and hop into it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started on greasing your Zerk fittings. Pretty much simple explanation as to what Zerk fittings are. It's basically a small metal nipple shaped piece to allow grease to either go into or around joints or bearings or any moving parts like that. It's important that you grease your Zerk fittings. Not only does it reduce friction, heat, and wear on components, but it helps extend the life of the component being greased, which we're about to hop into today. So today we have two four-wheelers. I have the C4 600 and I have the Polaris Sportsman 850, which I'm glad I have both of them and they're two different models because not every four-wheeler are the same. Just keep in mind you also have Zerk fittings on your car, your truck, your automobile, pretty much in the same areas as well. Again, every car and truck and every make and model are different. To find yours, you can always Google it or YouTube it. So let's get started, guys. All right, so before you even get started, even looking for those Zerk fittings, you need to get a couple of things first. First of all, you need a grease gun. And second, you need grease. So you can go out to like Walmart, Harbor Freight. You can probably find them at Home Depot, I don't know. If you don't have any of those near you, you can always hop on Amazon and order you a decent sized grease gun. Remember, guys, you buy cheap, you buy twice. So don't go too cheap on it. This one that I have here is by Thorsten. It's about 7,000 PSI. It has a nice flexible rubber hose on it. And I think I got it for like $23, $24 on Amazon. And yeah, so just make sure you get you a decent size, not a decent size, they're all one size. Just make sure you get you a decent grease gun. Like I said, you buy cheap, you buy twice. So make sure, you know, it's got a good weight to it. This one here, I've had it for, I don't know, about 6 months now, and it's worked out a lot better than a lot of the other ones that I've had before. And then second of all, here's where it can get complicated, is getting the grease. Just like oils, there's so many different types of oils out there. Just do your research. You know, I'm not going to go in depth on different types of greases. The kind that I use is red and tacky. It's a little bit more expensive than some of the other cheaper greases. Grease? Is that even a word? Anyway, you know what I mean. And some of the other cheaper grease products out there. There we go. And like I said, I use red and tacky because it's better for cold weather temperatures, and it lasts a lot longer, and it's waterproof, not waterproof, water resistant. There's a difference. And so wherever you get your grease gun at, you should be able to find the grease there too. Also, before I go on, there's a YouTuber, his name is Project Farm, and he does all kinds of testing on different types of oils, grease, batteries. I mean, you name it, he does all this thorough testing on there. His name is Project Farm. Look him up. Check out some of his videos. But again, getting back to what we're going to do here, Again, wherever you find the grease gun, you should be able to find the grease. I have yet to ever see a place that sells grease guns and no grease, or grease and no grease guns. So get your grease gun, get your grease, and then we're going to look for those Zerk fittings. So let's get started, guys. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. I'm going to take the right rear tire off. I already got it jacked up just slightly, just so that the tire is off the ground. Go up a little bit more. That's good. I'm just going to go ahead and take these lugs off. Get out the big boy. At least they were on there tight. Remove your lug nuts. Come out. Put them in a safe place. And you're going to remove the tire. Set your tire off to the side. Don't lay it down front face. Otherwise you'll scratch your rims. I'm just going to inspect this a little bit. Doesn't look too bad, but let me grab a rag. Okay, so I'll bring you in a little closer. Now again, this is your Zerk fitting right here. Okay, you can see that. Get some light on it. So that's your Zerk fitting there. I'm going to clean that off a little bit. Now on the C-Force 600, there's only a total of 6, and they're all on the rear. There's none in the front. Like I said, every vehicle is going to be different, but on this one, the Zerk fitting is right here. And this is what your Zerk fitting look like. So you're going to have one here on the upper control arm, and then you're going to have one pretty much underneath it on the lower control arm. Again, not every vehicle they're going to be in the same place, so you're going to have to look for yours, or Google it, or YouTube it. And then there's another one. See if I can get some light on it. On this rear bushing. So before you grease your Zerks, you always want to take a towel or a rag or something and clean the nipple off. Okay. So this is the Zerk fitting here. Always clean it off. And going back to the grease guns, guys, you know, when you get your grease gun, they're gonna come with different attachments. Some have metal hoses on them. It might be a metal pipe or something. I never used a metal pipe. I had a neighbor that gave me one to use one time, and it was useless. I couldn't get it anywhere. I couldn't use it anywhere. In all the years that I've been working on automobiles, cars, trucks, four-wheelers and stuff like that. I've never seen it in an application where a straight metal pipe was used. Anyway, you know, I have different nozzle tips or whatever. And just make sure you have a rubber hose on it. You want to make sure it has a rubber hose because it's flexible. And the places that these Zerk fittings are in on different vehicles are in some tight ass spaces. So you need a rubber hose to get in there, not a metal. So if yours doesn't come with the rubber hose, send it back. Get one that does. That's all you really need. So, make sure I can get you guys to see this. Okay. So as you can see here, here's the Zerk fitting. And I already have my red and tacky grease inside. I'm not gonna go through the whole ordeal with trying to take it off because sometimes it's a little hassle. I'm not gonna go in depth on how to load your grease gun. There's videos on that if you don't know how to load a grease gun. Basically, you want to attach the hose over the fitting, and you'll tell when it's on there good, because as you can see, it's hard to get off. And I usually have a little flat head so I can just pop it off, because these things are hard to get off, and they're designed like that for a reason, I assume. I guess to push that little nipple down to allow the grease go in. Anyway, let's get started. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now your next question may be, well, how do you know if you have enough grease in it? That's simple. It's going to start oozing out of the sides here. So as you're pumping it, just look on the side, and once you see it start to ooze out, you're done. And it's usually, like I said, about 5 or 6 pumps. So give me a second. Let me take this off. Oh man, these things are a pain sometimes when you're doing a lube job. Sorry guys, my light fell. And then do the same thing on the bottom. I don't know. Be able to. One, 2, and you see how it started to come out there? That's when you know you're done. And you can stop. So I'm gonna take some of that. Take some of that lube. I'm just going to put it across back of this plate here, just to keep it from rusting. And that's probably going to be something I'm going to have to replace later. And then we got those two, and then we got the one in the back. Which is gonna be this one right here. only took about 3 or 4 pumps. And as you can see, it started oozing out right here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, do the other 3, and then I'm going to get my Sportsman 850, the bad bitch, bring it in here, and we're going to look at the Zerk fittings on that one. And you're going to see how on that one there's a lot more Zerk fittings on the Polaris. So hang tight, guys. All right, got done with the CF Moto. Now I got the bad bitch in. We're gonna do the Zerk fittings on here, and look at her, just looking just as mean and sexy as she wants to be. Damn, girl. Yes, sir. All right, so we're gonna do the Zerk fittings on this one. We're gonna give this one a lube job, and I'm gonna show you how many more Zerk fittings there are on this model. Let's get started, guys. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, got the jack ready. Make sure it's in park. So put the brake on. Before you jack up your vehicle, make sure it's in park and the e-brake is on, or your parking brake. I'm just gonna let this set. The tires are just off the ground, right there. And I'm not gonna be able to use the impact wrench on this one, so I have to use Country Fried Force. That's all. If I loosen them all. Alright, finally got it off. Turn back. Looks up there. And now we're going to look for the Zerk fittings on this one. And now remember, on the other one, there were just 3. see if I can give you a better angle. So we got one here, right back there, and it's on top of the control arm on the inside, upper control arm. There's one right underneath here. I don't know if the camera can catch it. I'm trying to hold the light and do this at the same time. Let's see here. There's one right there. And there's one on the bottom. Right there. I think that's my neighbor coming over on his four-wheeler. Okay, so we have 1, 2, we got 3, 4. 1, 2, I know. There's a total of 10 on the back of the Polaris Sportsman. Shit. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. That's on the other arm. That's 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So you got 1 on the upper control arm, 1 on the lower control arm, and 1 on each of the arms, and then 1 at the top here. So that's a total of 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out. I already showed how to attach the grease gun, how many pumps it should take. I'm not gonna go through all that, but yeah. And so that's what Zerk fittings are. And it's important that you do your lube job, no pun intended. It's important you do your lube job so that these components don't get worn out, like I said earlier, because once they get worn out, they're pretty much crap. So no, the next question was probably, well, how do you know how often to do it? That just depends on how often you ride, especially if you go through water, you're going through mud, you're doing some heavy riding. Me, I do mine at least once a month. I'm not saying that's the recommended interval to do it on, but that's just what I do. Because there's times when, you know, it may sit for a few days when I don't ride it. But for me, like I said, I do it at least once a month. And when the user asked that question, I figured this would be a good video to do it. So those are Zerk fittings. Like I said, you need a good grease gun. You buy cheap, you buy twice. Just keep that in mind. And you need some grease. And again, like I said, the YouTuber Project Farm, I hope I'm not messing his name up. I'm pretty sure it's Project Farm, something like that. I can get detailed information on it later if you're interested. But I think I'm pretty sure it's Project Farm. And this guy does all kinds of testing, all kinds of, I mean, he doesn't just, oh yeah, this is good, this is bad. No, he goes through thorough testing in and out, on different products, different devices and whatnot. Very good YouTuber, if you ask me. So like I said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get this knocked out. Do me a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, share this video with your friends, and look me up. Until then, have fun, be safe, peace.